What is going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. This video today is actually a pretty special video. Someone actually let me know, I think it was in the comment section or someone tweeted me, I don't remember who it was, but someone said, are you going to do anything special for your 1000th video on the channel? Now, I knew I was approaching the 1000 video milestone, however, I didn't actually realize it was literally going to be this video. So this video, as it's uploaded, will be the 1000th video on this channel. And first of all, I've got to say thank you so much to everyone who has continuously watched my videos, whether it be like continuously every single day, or whether, you know, you come by once a week or once a month and you check out the videos. I do greatly appreciate it, and all the support that you guys have been showing on the Treasure Cruise content. It means a lot, and you know, if it wasn't for you guys, you know, supporting the videos, I wouldn't be continuously making them. So thank you so much for that, and I do greatly appreciate it. So in this video, we're doing a little bit of a deep dive in the past of Treasure Cruise. So you guys have seen videos before. I've made videos going through my account, discussing, you know, the legends that I've pulled along the way. But in this video, we're going to be doing something a little bit different, where I'm going to be going through my top characters or my top legends and the era surrounding them, and which ones were my favorites. So when I mean by like an era, I mean like you know, a period of time where a legend was released and that legend was like dominating content. Like everything that came out, that legend was just destroying very easily. And there are definitely 5 characters specifically that I really enjoy using. Even up to this day, I still have a soft spot for some of these legends. A lot of them are not good now, but you know, they're still really fun to use, and I do enjoy, you know, just reminiscing about the times where I did use these characters. And you know, in this video, we're going to be going through my top 5 favorite legend era, and we're also going to be going through the times where I've pulled the character, and then also just showing some content on the side and giving you my thoughts and opinions about them. So first of all, to start things off, a character that technically I have never really pulled new, and I'm talking about Katakuri. Jeez, I'm nervous now.
Alright.
Right off the rip, big mum.
Oh!
It's extended! Get that Marco! Oh no!
That was the only of the extendeds that would have been a
the
do.
only one you had.
So, you guys will know the whole drama around what happened last year on Katakuri's Sugo Fest, but then I got the new account, of course. It had Katakuri on it, and I was basically using him for everything at the time, and Katakuri is just hilariously fun to use. Being able to just constantly delay the enemy is so good, and the fact that he has a special ability that enables you to abuse the delay mechanic, I absolutely adore this legend. I think he's definitely one of my favorite legends of all time. When version 2 Katakuri comes out, it's going to be interesting to see. Hopefully I can get my hands on him, and if I can, would love to see, you know, comparing him to his original version and see which playstyle I like more, whether it's the version where you start taking more damage so you can, you know, obviously abuse the special ability of the version 2, or do I like the version with version 1 where I like to go ahead and be very intelligent with the way I play, delay enemies at a specific point so I can get a conditional boost so I do more damage on a second turn. It's interesting how the two different Katakuri legends oppose each other. They are very similar in their captain effects, where they only boost a certain amount of classes. They have the same multiplier. Obviously version 2 has the color affinity, just passive boost that's always active, so that is quite interesting as well. But I do like Katakuri for the fact that he has very good classes that he boosts. He boosts shooter, fighter, striker, cerebral. No, it's not striker. Is it striker? I don't actually remember. I've actually got it up on the side here. Don't even remember. One of my favorite legends in the game. Fighter, striker, shooter, and then cerebral and powerhouse. That's right. I like the fact that he boosts cerebral and powerhouse. Those two classes in particular have very good subunits. Powerhouse in particular on global at the moment doesn't have like an amazing captain. Obviously Judge is like an option you can run, but like they don't have like a pure go-to powerhouse captain on global right now. Obviously Japan has some really cool powerhouse stuff, but Katakuri is a really good option. He has really cool units, like obviously Colosseum Neptune, who's like one of the best subs for Katakuri specifically, boosting cerebral and powerhouse, and cerebral and powerhouse are some of the best subs for Katakuri. And you've got some other really good characters that are also cerebral and powerhouse, like Treasure Map Sabo, Legend Nami. You've got obviously the Rare Recruit Oven that boosts all the classes that Katakuri boosts, and he's a great sub for that. So there's really cool options with Katakuri, and that's one of the things I like about him. And you, as I said before, you have to be very intelligent with the way that you use him. You have to delay at certain circumstances. You have to bring a character to give you a boost to reach 2 million, to then delay, and then you get your conditional boost off. And it's really interesting the way he works, and definitely goes down in my books as one of the best legends ever created, just because of his insane unique abilities that he will only have, and the fact that he can get a conditional boost off when no one else can get a conditional boost because his delay can go through debuff protection. I know that there are 6+ Usopp, but this guy by himself can get through delay protection as well as applying the conditional boost. So there aren't really any other characters in the game that can do what he does, and that's why I personally love this character so goddamn much. Okay, changing gears now, we're gonna move on to my 4th favorite legend era of all time, and honestly, this is like a legend era that is still happening right now, and that character is version 2 Sakazuki. I feel like this is not gonna be good, but I'm hoping. I've got me hopes up. Come on. Oh, extended, come on! Come on! Yes, let's go! Let's go! Yes! Let's get it! Oh my god, yes! Oh my god. Yeah, let's go! Let's freaking go, boys! Let's get it! Now, if you guys don't know the way that I viewed version 2 Sakazuki when they were first, revealed on the Japanese version of Treasure Cruise, basically the whole way it went down is when I looked at both of them on paper, version 2 Cruzan on paper really should be better than Sakazuki, and it's weird the way that these characters were released. However, when you really actually get down to the nitty-gritty and you actually play with these two characters, Sakazuki is stupidly overpowered. The way that they built him is ridiculous, and I think that honestly they went a little bit too overboard with the way that his ability works. His special ability I think is fine, and that doesn't need to be changed, but the end of turn damage that you can get with him is crazy. Obviously there are drawbacks to the character. You have to hit perfects in order to reach that multiplier of 500 times his attack, or whatever it was, 500 times his attack, which can do up to 1,000,000 damage, and it obviously scales really poorly. So even if you miss one perfect, your scaling is way off. So 500 times his attack for 6 perfects, and then for 4 perfects it is, or 5 perfects is 200 times. So you lose 300 times attack at the end of the turn if you just miss one perfect. So the scaling is really bad, but that obviously is a pretty good drawback. He also has barrier penetration as well, which actually plays a part in a lot of different pieces of content where, even if the enemy has a barrier and you do need to get around that, and with certain barriers, you'd have to hit good or a great to break through it. With Akainu, if you have a really good boost active, obviously like his special, or you have a character like version 2 Shanks, with enough damage output, you can use the barrier penetration to bypass it and literally kill the content. And I actually use that with, which content was it? Coliseum Kuma is where I actually really abuse that. The fact that his ability just allows you to go past through barriers, and I use that against Coliseum Kuma with a shooter team with version 2 Lucci, and this character is just so much fun to use. Even, as we've said many times, version 2 Shanks is like the best partner for this guy as a sub. But you don't need V2 Shanks to really abuse Akainu. There are a lot of good other type boosters you could use in replace of Shanks that can basically get the job done just as good, like Coliseum Sicilian or Int Rare Recruit Boa Hancock. There's lots of good options for Akainu. And as I said, this is by far one of my most favorite legends in the game, just because of how easy you can build his teams, only having to build with 2 separate colors, and those 2 colors do have some very good support type units, and you can just go into pieces of content and just hit your 6 perfects and allow that to get you the win, which is really, really fun. Obviously, it's a high risk, high reward type of captain, but I'm actually a really huge fan of this type of character. There are lots of high risk, high reward captains in the game, but I never really liked any of them. When it comes to Akainu though, I just absolutely adore him with that end of turn damage, making content very, very easy. And now we get to switch over once again to a brand new legend that we're going to be talking about, which is going to be version 2 Lucci. Now, version 2 Lucci was actually really, really cool when I pulled him. I actually pulled him from one of my free legend tickets on the first Blitz battle that ever arrived on Global. And at that time, I believe version 2 Lucci was like the second most recent legend at the time, and Magellan was the most recent legend that came out with the Blitz battle. And I pulled both of those guys, Magellan and version 2 Lucci, with my tickets, and that was insane because I saw a lot of people did get really unlucky with those tickets, which was very unfortunate. But luckily for me, I did get probably the most insane luck that I've ever gotten with those tickets. Pulling Lucci was insane. And at the time it was kind of unfortunate though, because Powerhouse weren't really that good at the time. They had a couple of options that they could really utilize, but they really needed characters like Marigold and Sandazonia and Raid Fuji to really get the ball rolling. And you guys are going to be seeing some stuff on the side about version 2 Lucci. Okay, so before we get into this, what legends do I actually want? So, I really want Quick Lucci, Neko Mamushi. I would love to get Blackbeard or Borsalino. Akainu would be pretty cool. I think those are the main ones that I really want. I'd love to have Zoro as well. He'd be a pretty cool legend to own. And I think that's about it for now. There's probably legends that I'm missing that I'd like to have. But let's get into it. Let's hope that we don't get too many duplicates from these legends. Let's go ahead and see what we get. First one, it's a red! Let's see what it's gonna be. What's it gonna be? Yes! Yes! Quick! Lucci! Yes! Oh my god! Yes! Yes! Oh. So, as I said, you know, those characters, once they come out with Sandersonia and Marigold and the other powerhouse-related meta, once that actually came out, it basically came down to, like, the best teams at the time were either Neko Mamushi Cat Viper or version 2 Lucci. And in my personal opinion, I think Lucci was a much better character than Cat Viper. I know a lot of people would disagree, but at that time period, like the time period before Legend Lucy came out, it was V2 Lucci and Neko's meta, and the Striker and Powerhouse meta was definitely in full swing, and obviously, as we just said before, Boa Marigold, Boa Sandersonia were the two characters that enabled those teams to do what they could do. Just the fact that you could get a type and conditional boost for 2 turns, as well as a full board of matching orbs just for 2 characters, it's pretty insane the way that it works, and I'm a huge fan of it. So Marigold and Sandersonia definitely helped out a lot, and you know, V2 Lucci was just awesome because he does so many things with his special. He does very good AoE damage. He reduces everyone's defense, which in and of itself is great because you could actually use a powerhouse team with just your Lucci, and you don't even have to bring Boa Sandersonia if you don't want to, because Lucci himself gives you the matching orbs, as well as allowing you to reduce the defense, so you could just bring Marigold for the conditional boost. So if you are running a little tight on space, you can still do that. And the fact that he does healing as well, which was another big factor. The healing didn't matter all that much for a lot of content, but if you're running Training Forest, healing always is going to matter, especially because I believe he sets your recovery to 0. Yeah, he cuts your health in half, your recovery in half, and if you're running double Lucci, you only get 25% of your natural recovery. So the fact that his special ability allowed you to get a little bit back was always going to be useful. And for, aside from Training Forest, there was only like one other piece of content where if you healed with this special, that actually helped out a lot. And as we already see nowadays, there is a 6+ for this character, giving him shooter-related abilities. It's not really that amazing. I think the buff is okay. The overall damage output that he provides doesn't really change. They gave him slight increases to his base boost instead of scaling up to a really high boost. It already starts at a pretty reasonable boost, which is good. But with his special ability, they definitely changed some things around that I'm not really a big fan of. The fact that he no longer gives you matching orbs for his specific crew is quite unfortunate, and he no longer does AoE damage, which is also pretty bad. However, he does provide some paralysis reduction, which could be used in a lot of content. I actually did use that for Coliseum Daifuku when I was using a Big Mom team, I think. For the paralysis reduction, which was actually pretty good. So yeah, I'm a big fan of V2 Lucci, and as I said, at that time within the meta where it was Lucci versus Neko, Lucci was my go-to guy. I used him for everything at that point in time. Every piece of Coliseum, every raid boss at the time, I was going ahead and using Lucci. He was my boy. Now moving on to the number 2 favorite of OPTC meta, we have Strongwood Ace. Of course, you know, we had to have my boy Strongwood Ace on the list. At the time, pulling Strongwood Ace, obviously shooters were really bad on Global for a very long time. They didn't get good until obviously the Strongwood batch came out with the Jinbei, with version 1 Jinbei, I believe is what actually happened. One pull, let's go ahead and do number 2. And yeah, as I said, guys, we really want to try and get a unit that we don't have. At least 1 unit out of these 4 pulls. If we don't have it, I'll be pretty happy. So let's see what we get here. Oh my god! Oh my god! Yes! Yes! Oh my god! Yo, guys! Oh my god! And, you know, obviously, when those characters came out, shooters basically skyrocketed. They were the best team once those Strongwood characters came out. Prior to their release, like, shooters were dead. They literally had nothing. Raid Zephyr, I don't think was out at the time. I think Raid Zephyr came out around about the same time as the Strongwood characters. So at that time, you know, it took a long time for it to happen, but shooters eventually became the best team. And along with characters like Legend Marco, enabled Strongwood Ace to clear Training Forest at the time. very easily, and that was the team that I basically used to clear like every single training forest out at that time. Double Strongwood Ace, you had Legend Marco, you had the Usopp, Strongwood Usopp, or you could use Golden Pound depending on your situation. Strongwood Frankie could have been used, but Marco was quite nice to have. And then you had Zephyr and Heracles. Like that was like your go-to team for the training forest. You could output a pretty serious amount of damage over 2 turns, and then you have your a mass amount of HP pool, like up to 50,000, and you can use that to stall, and you can use Marco to heal in the following room. Just it worked so well for clearing like all the training forests, and even for the Colosseums out at that time, Strongwood Ace was dominating them as well. Even though he was dominating them, he was a bit of a slow type of team, so I wasn't using him for literally everything at the time, but every single training forest that was releasing, Strongwood Ace was my go-to, and he just enabled me to do that, which was awesome. And I know everyone like makes the memes in the comment section like, oh, you only use Strongwood Ace, and then when I pulled time to get Luffy, oh, you only use time to get Luffy, and then when I pulled Lucci, oh, you only use Lucci. And understandable, because I mean they were the best legends at the time, and they're fun to use. I still love Strongwood Ace. There's always going to be a soft spot in my heart for Strongwood Ace. It is unfortunate that his 6+ isn't what we really wanted. I feel like they kind of screwed up with his 6+, but he's still usable. He's just nowhere near as powerful as he was upon release, of course. So definitely Strongwood Ace deserves my number 2 position in favorite OPTC meta. And of course, we had to finish off with my boy Time Skip Luffy. Time Skip Luffy is my favorite time playing the game. Like when I pull Time Skip Luffy, using him for content was my favorite time playing the game, hands down. Like nothing comes close to it. Holy shit, it's hype, it's hype, it's hype, it's hype. What is it? What is it? Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my fucking god! Time Skip Luffy, upon release, was a monster, and I don't care what anyone says. Like, you know how we said before with Lucci, and it was either use Lucci or use Neko, and those were like the 2 best teams at the time. Around this period, it was either version 1 Akainu or it was Time Skip Luffy. I don't care what anybody says, Time Skip Luffy dominates version 1 Akainu. Surely, like he's definitely better. And even on the same token as that, people will also argue, Time Skip Luffy or the Psy Gear 4, which one was the better? Would you Super Evolve Time Skip Luffy? Do you keep him as the base form? Free Spirit Time Skip Luffy is always better than the Psy Gear 4, in my opinion. I feel like Quick Time Skip Luffy at the time was one of my favorite meta to play with, and the fact that at that time as well they were releasing so many good characters, and when we finally got the release of 6+ Sabo as well, it just made using this character so much more fun. And around about the release of Time Skip Luffy, we had obviously Invasion Shanks was getting his debut on Global, and man, Invasion Shanks, that was an amazing character to come out specifically for Time Skip Luffy teams, because at that point in time we hadn't seen too many characters that would release that would give you a really strong boost as well as give you some piece of utility, and Shanks does that because Shanks gives you obviously the 2x orb boost as well as providing paralysis reduction. I believe he might have got rid of something else, I don't remember, but I know he does orb enabling as well. So that's a really cool ability that Shanks had, and as I said, we hadn't seen too many characters that did that, so that obviously made Time Skip Luffy teams even better than what they were. And the fact that Free Spirit have so many good characters as well, they have access to so many healers and damage reducers. Into Ivankov is such a good unit as well, giving you healing, damage reduction, poison removal. Like, Time Skip Luffy just had everything at the point. And, that was my argument against why you should Super Evolve him, or why you shouldn't Super Evolve him, really. Because fighters at that time had basically nothing. And I don't really understand why people would evolve their Time Skip Luffy, where Free Spirit literally had everything and fighters had nothing. Didn't make any sense in my head. Time Skip Luffy is the man. He is definitely, whilst I was playing with Time Skip Luffy, it was the most fun I've had playing One Piece Treasure Cruise, I think, ever. I just remember using him so much, and even though I did use him so much, I never really felt a time where I was bored playing him. I just enjoyed using him in every way I could. I would love to use the character, and as I was saying before, people would always comment, oh, you use Time Skip Luffy for everything. I was like, yeah, I mean, I like to play the game with the most fun characters that I enjoy, and Time Skip Luffy is definitely that. And definitely at the time, best character in my opinion, and definitely the most fun I've had. But obviously looking at it now, Time Skip Luffy severely outdated, and obviously Luffy and Ace with his release basically makes him useless. And I mean, Time Skip Luffy had his limit break recently come out, his limit break wasn't really that good. Gets him cooldown reduction, pinch healing, and slotline self reduction. It actually would have been so freaking awesome if he got the ability to use double special. That would have been so good for him because it enables him to use his special on like a one room, and then you could use it immediately when his special would run out. I think that would have been an amazing ability to have. Either way, and there's not much we could really do now, but you know, obviously the big downfall to Toadskii Luffy is the fact that he literally doesn't do much with his special. It's kind of like Legend Neko, where Legend Neko does damage and gives you orb enabling, but that's it. Like, he doesn't provide any orb, type, affinity, tap timing bonus, health cut. He doesn't really do anything, so that's definitely like one of the big downfalls to the character. But I mean, I love his captain ability. Captain ability is always super solid, and those are like my most favorite meta while playing Treasure Cruise. Let me know down below in the comment section what your guys' favorite legend meta was, or even, it doesn't even have to be a legend, like what unit that debuted that you got that you just absolutely loved using. I would love to know your thoughts and opinions on that. But anyways, as I said, this is the 1000th video on the channel, and I really hope you guys enjoyed it. You know, just giving you a little bit of insight as to, you know, my time playing the game and what I enjoyed the most. As I said, let me know what you guys enjoyed the most playing Treasure Cruise was. I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions on that, and I'm sure you guys have much differing opinions to me. If I pulled Log Luffy on his release or close to his release, I'm sure he would have been probably in this list as well. But obviously, you know, I didn't pull him on his release. I didn't pull a lot of characters on their release, so my opinions are going to be a lot different to a lot of other people. So let me know down below in the comment section, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and if you guys did enjoy it, make sure to leave a like. And if you want to stay up to date with all the content I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But on that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.